always been a very anxious person. When I was 6, this is one of my favorite stories about myself, is my mom practiced with me when I was going to preschool or like grade 1. She practiced with me unwrapping my sandwich because I had such anxiety about getting to the lunchroom in front of all the kids and having to unwrap like the plastic wrap off my sandwich. So I made her practice with me so that I wouldn't make a fool of myself at like 6 years old. I didn't know obviously at the time that I had like crazy anxiety about things like that. I come from a long line of anxious women. I think I had a little bit of social anxiety growing up, like going to parties and stuff used to make me nervous. I had this, like heaviness in my chest about social situations I didn't fully understand. So then I was 18, I got kicked out of theater school, my parents were getting divorced, and then one of my best friends died in a car accident, like randomly. And so there was just a period of time within like 6 months where sort of everything came to a head and I just didn't deal with it. I just pushed past that, and again, I still didn't even know that I had this like volcano of anxiety sort of just resting, asleep, dormant, waiting for it to sort of come to the surface. I started getting heart palpitations and my heart would stop for about 5 seconds, which is kind of, it doesn't seem like a long time, but it is a long time. And then it would speed up really fast as if you're going down a roller coaster, like that feeling of sort of gravity leaving you. And it would just do that in the middle of, I ended up going to another theater school. So I would do that in the middle of class and I would stop, my whole body would just stop moving. And then that weird sort of gravity loss feeling. So I went to the hospital and I got a heart rate monitor put on, and then I would go to my family doctor and she's like, oh, like, well, I prescribe your mom this and I don't want to prescribe it to you if you don't need it, but like, are you interested in taking Ativan? And I was like, well, I mean, I don't really want to be on medication, but she was like, it's just for panic attacks. And then I realized that I was actually having panic attacks from that one conversation because I didn't know what they were. As soon as you realize sort of what it is, like once you identify the problem, it's just much easier to deal with it. So then there was a couple years where I was just like, I have anxiety. And I would just sort of wear that like a little sweater, like sometimes I have anxiety. And then 2 years ago, I was in a relationship that I was really, really committed to. And then it sort of just exploded in one day, which was very strange because I had known this person for 5 years and we weren't together for that long, but he was my best friend. And there was something about that. And sorry, I forgot to mention that my parents, they were divorced when I was 17. They got back together when I was 22, like remarried, and then divorced again when I was 26. For some reason, there was something about getting broken up with that I got situational depression. And I like couldn't get out of bed. I would cry at the drop of a hat. I just remember I was about to go to a wedding like a couple months after my breakup, and I went to go get manicures with 2 of my friends, and I was like bawling my eyes out for no reason while I had like hands in hot water in front of like 30 other women and all of these women on the other side of the table. And I was like, it wasn't like a cute, like one tear. It was like, and everyone was so weirded out by me, but I just couldn't control. The minute I started thinking about something I didn't like, I couldn't control how upset it made me. And I just was like, I was at the point where I'm like, I am worthless. Everybody hates me. Like, why can't I keep a relationship? Like, why do my parents not like us enough to stay together? I just didn't know how to deal with it. So what I started doing inadvertently was like, I was writing poetry on my phone about how I felt about things in general. And then I was writing, and then I would copy and paste it onto my computer. And then I realized that I had over 100 poems about, you know, how I felt and how like, from the whole range of like, oh my God, I feel totally worthless, to, oh my God, am I ever gonna feel better, to like, I think I just can't wait for this to be over because I know that it will be over eventually. And so I was like, I'm gonna write a book about it. So I compiled all this poetry together and wrote a book. And then I discovered therapy. I went to one therapist first that was recommended to me, and he literally said to me, you are the maker of all your problems, and it's because you don't know how to identify healthy men. I ended up going to another therapist who was a student. I went to go see her once a week, and we talked about lots of stuff, and sometimes we talked about nothing. And then after a while, I was able to internalize all of what she was saying and apply it in the moment to situations. I think it just like strengthened almost all of my relationships. I'm not saying that, oh, my anxiety's gone, it's so great. It's not, but I'm able to deal with it. I don't make it everyone else's problem now. I can actually just take a step back and essentially be my own therapist for a few minutes. And sometimes I need to often I need to talk to people. And I've talked to my mom about it a lot now too, and both my grandmas about it. And I think that understanding, that hereditary understanding that like we are all in this truly together, and also you gave me this, was a tremendous help, because now we're able to talk about it and we're able to identify patterns, and then you can sort of nip those in the bud before they bloom into other more unhealthy patterns.